Williams class. For your maths lesson today, the arithmetic is as follows. 5 times 9. What is 33 shared into 3? What is 888 as a Roman numeral? 5 sixths plus 2 sixths. 4 times 8. 64 divided by 4. What is 10 kilometers in meters? 4,823 plus 4,136, 9,875, take away 4,445, and 49 divided by 7. Here are your answers. 5 times 9 equals 45. What is 33 shared into 3? The answer is 11. What is 888 as a Roman numeral? Take a deep breath with me. Here we go. D, C, 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 L, X, 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 V, I, I. What is 5 sixths plus 2 sixths? It is equal to 7 sixths. Another way of writing this is 1 and 1 sixth. 4 times 8 equals 32. 64 divided by 4 equals 16. What is 10 kilometers in meters? 10,000 meters. 4,823 plus 4,136 equals 8,959. 9,875 take away 4,445 equals 5,430. And lastly, 49 divided by 7 equals 7. Our learning objective for today's maths lesson is, can I find non-unit fractions of amounts? So by the end of the lesson, you will be able to find a non-unit fraction of an amount using a bar model. You will be able to find a non-unit fraction of an amount using a place value chart. Your starter activity, find 1/8 of 32. Here is what you should have done. If you are finding out 1/8 of 32, the rule is to divide the whole number by the denominator. So that means 32 divided by 8. How many 8s go into 32? 4. So 1/8 of 32 is 4. Now, here are 10 cubes. We need to find out what 2/5 are. So we're finding out 2/5 of 10. I'm just going to write that here, just so we don't forget our question. Now, step 1 is to find out a unit fraction of this amount. So we divide 10 by 5. So in our starter activity, when we did 32 divided by 8, you're doing the same thing here where you're doing 10 divided by 5 because 10 is the whole number and 5 is the denominator. So you're dividing 10 by 5. So what is 10 divided by 5? How many 5s go into 10? 2. Good, so we've started with that method. Now we know that 1/5 of 10 is equal to 2, but we need to find out what 2/5 of 10 is equal to. To do this, we multiply by 2. So the rule when finding fractions of numbers is as follows. If there's a spare, let me create a spare sheet of paper to write it down for you. I'll write it here. So to find a fraction of a number, the 2 steps are to divide by the denominator, which is what we have been doing. Divide by denominator. Now, one step that we have been doing that I haven't yet brought to your attention is that we then multiply by the numerator, which is the number at the top. Multiply by the numerator. I'll give you an example. 1/5 of 10. How do we work that out? Look at your steps. You divide by the denominator. So you do 10 divided by 5, which is equal to 2. And then you multiply by the numerator. The numerator for this question is 1. So you multiply by 1 to get our answer in the end, which is 2. So 1/5 of 1/5 of 10 is 2. Now that is what we are saying here. So to work out 2/5 of 10, what we would do is, I'm going to write it here, 2/5 of 10, same exact rule, okay? You multiply by the denominator, so 10 divided by 5, which is equal to 2, and then you multiply by the numerator. The numerator in this question is 2. So you do 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. So if I was to show it on this diagram here, 2/5 of 10 is equal to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is 2/5 of 10 for you there. Let's try this question. Dexter has used a bar model and counters to find 3/4 of 12. Use his method to calculate 5/6 of 12, 2/3 of 12, 2/3 of 18, and 7/9 of 18. Now I will do this with you. So what Dexter has done here is when he's found 3/4 of 12, hang on, I'm going to show you on another piece of paper. So 3/4 of 12. Now 12 is the amount of counters we have all together, okay? 4 is how many parts we are dividing the number into. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. The numerator is how many counters we're putting into each part. So in this case, it is 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So to find 3/4 of 12, you look at 3 out of the 4 parts, because that is 3 out of 4. You only look at 3 parts, you don't look at all 4. So how many counters do we have in 3 parts? To just remind you, these are our 3 parts. 1 part, second part, and the 3rd part. So in those 3 parts, we have how many counters all together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 counters all together. So 3/4 of 12 is equal to 9. So you can use that method to calculate 5/6 of 12, 2/3 of 12, 2/3 of 18, and 7/9 of 18. Have a go. When you then unpause the video after you've tried your best at answering the questions, you will see the answers to see if you got the same as me. Now here are the answers that I got. 5/6 of 12 is equal to 10. 2/3 of 12 is equal to 8. 2/3 of 18 is equal to 12. And 7/9 of 18 is equal to 14. Next question. Amir uses a bar model and place value counters to find 3/4 of 84. Now use Amir's method to find the answers to these 3 questions. I will do the first one with you to show you how it is done. If my question is 2/3 of 36, the first thing I'm going to do is divide by the denominator, which is 3. So I'm going to do 36 divided by 3. How many 3s go into 36? If you said 12, you are absolutely correct. So what I'm going to do then is split my bar into 3 parts, because the denominator tells me how many parts my bar has to be split into, and the denominator here is 36. And I now know that in each part, I have to put 12. Now, when you're using place value counters, it should look a little something like having 1 10 place value counter, and then 1 place value counter, and another place value counter. So altogether, that is 12 in one part. And you just do the same in the other parts as well in order to make 36 altogether. Just like that. So you've got 12 in each part. And if you want to test if it's correct, try adding them all together to see if you get 36. You should get 36. Then to find 2/3 of 36, 2/3 is 2 out of 3. So you look at 2 out of 3 of those parts. And 2 out of those 3 parts means you're looking at this part, that's 1 out of 3, and that is now 2 out of 3. Once you've identified that, tell me how many parts, or not parts, but tell me what the value of this is altogether. You have to add this 12 to this 12. So let's add together. 10 plus 1 is 11, plus 1 is 12, so this is 12. If this part is 12, then this part must also be 12. And all you have to do is add them together. What's 12 plus 12? 24. I can show you how to work that out really quickly. If you put 12 and 12, column addition, 2 plus 2 is 4, 1 plus 1 is 2. So 12 plus 12 is 24. So 2/3 of 36, if we go back to the question, will be, I forgot it already, will be 24. So that is how you can use place value counters in order to get your answers. So have a go at using that method to find the answers to these questions. And when you unpause, you will see the answers. And here are the answers. So we've already discussed 2/3 of 36, which is 24. Next question. 2/3 of 45 is equal to 30, which I've written a little bit weirdly here, but that is 30. And then last question, 3/5 of 65. You should have gotten the answer, 39. Now here is your first task then, your independent first task. You're going to draw counters in the bar models to help you complete each number sentence. And then once you've done that, you're going to match the questions with the answers. Off you go. Here are your answers. Part A, 2/3 of 15 equals 10. Part B, 3/4 of 8 equals 6. And part C, 2/5 of 20 equals 8. Now match the questions to the answers. Note here how I've used a ruler. So I'd really love for you to use a ruler as well if you choose to write out your answers like this. 2/3 of 9 is equal to 6. 3/5 of 15 is equal to 9. 5/6 of 12 is equal to 10. And 3/4 of 20 is equal to 15. Task number 2. Kim uses a bar model and place value counters to find 2/3 of 36. Use Kim's method to complete the number sentences. And then once you've done that, complete the number sentences below. Off you go. And here are your answers. Part A, 2/3 of 96 equals 64. Part B, 3/5 of 60 equals 36. And part C, 3/4 of 52 equals 39. Complete the sentences below. 2/3 of 45 equal 30. 3/4 of 40 equal 30. And 5/6 of 36 equal 30. Your third and final task. Dora, Whitney, and Ron each find a fraction of 24 using counters. Dora says, I have 5/5 of 24. Whitney says, I have 2/3 of 24. Who has the most counters? Show your workings out. And then your next part of that question is, how many more counters does Dora have than Whitney? Go ahead and do that first for me. The way to work it out would be first to work out 5/6 of 24. Now, my preferred method, the method that I like to do, might not be the one that you like to do. So if you work it out differently but still get the same answer, that's absolutely fine by me. But what I like to do is divide by the denominator, multiply by the numerator. So what I mean is, I'll do 24 because 24 is the total number of counters. I'm going to divide by the denominator, which is 6. So 24 divided by 6, how many 6's go into 24? 4. And then you multiply by the numerator. So 4 times 5, which is our numerator. So what's 4 times 5? 20. So Dora has 20 counters. I'm just going to make a note of that. Now I want to check how many counters Whitney has. So she has 2/3 of the 24. So I'm going to do 24 divided by 3 because that's the denominator. How many 3's go into 24? 8. And then I'm going to multiply by the numerator. So 8 times 2, which is 16. So Whitney has 16. Dora has 20. So who has the most counters? Dora. And then how many more counters does Dora have than Whitney? To work out how many more, you just subtract the numbers from each other. So you do 20, take away 16. Let's do some column subtraction. So what's 0 take away 6? You can't do 0 take away 6 because 0 is smaller than 6. So if you've got 0, you can't take away 6 from that. So you're going to then take 1 from the 2. That becomes a 1. You put that 1 that you've taken in exchange, and then you put that next to the 0. So that 0 then becomes a 10. Now you can do 10 take away 6. So 10 take away 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The answer is 4. And then what's 1 take away 1? 0. So how many more counters does Dora have than Whitney? 4. Just like that. Now your next part of your question is write fractions to make the statements correct. So have a go at doing that for me. And because the answers will actually be very different depending on the person, you can write your answers, put them onto Tapestry, and then I would love to have a look. And then once you've done that, you can tell me how many different answers you can find for each, or you can write down those different answers, and then I'll have a look. But that is all for your maths lesson today, boys and girls. It was all about finding non-unit fractions of amounts. I will speak to you and see you very, very soon. Stay safe. Bye.